Welcome to the Build a Life After Loss podcast, where we inspire you to build a life of purpose and joy. Our aim is to encourage your hope in the future and strengthen your confidence. I'm your host, Julie Clough, certified life coach and grief specialist. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself. Hello, my friends. Welcome to episode 75, The Wilderness. Today's episode is going to be a little different than some of the other episodes that I've brought to you. I recently spoke at a women's group. About 44 women gathered. It was a women in business meeting. And so all these ladies that were involved in business in some way or another as employees or team members or, running their own company. And as I spoke to them, I just felt in my heart, I just wanted to share with them the reality of the pain of grief, but also the reality of the hope of healing. And at the conclusion, I had all of my notes ready and I was prepared and I spoke for 45 minutes and people asked questions. We had a period of Q&A and people asked questions. But when I finished and I talked about, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you won't. And let me say that again, because I don't think I said it correctly, but if you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. And so the whole idea is that if we believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel, if we believe that there is something beyond the pain that we're in right now, this moment, then we will take those baby steps. We will do what it takes to face our grief, and to approach it head on. And I just want to tell you that the reason that, at the end of the podcast, almost every week I say, I believe in you. I want to explain why I say that, because I believe in you. And you know why I believe in you? Because I have been in the darkest, deepest hole, the darkest, deepest abyss after the death of my children. I have been in that place where it felt like there could be no coming back. And yet I had this little tiny sliver of hope during that time that there was a possibility. But I was literally on the brink of destruction when things turned around for me. I was on the brink of destruction. And I don't say that lightly, and it's not something I share often, but I've talked before about kind of my journey and how it was really, really hard the first year and a half. It was horrific. But after that time, it got even worse. It got worse. I went down into this deep hole because I had this idea in my head that there was a time period that I should be doing better, that I should have figured it out by now, that it's been a year and a half. I should have figured where in the world I got that from. I have no idea, but it was misguided ideas. It was completely misguided belief that there was a timetable, that I should be on some track of some kind, and that I should be further down the path. And because I wasn't further down the path, and because I didn't feel good, and because I couldn't figure it out, I beat myself up so badly that I was just in this place where I could hardly stand to be in my own skin. I could hardly stand to be in my own skin. I just could not figure out how to be with me. And the reason that I say I believe in you is because I was on the brink of destruction and I found a way out. And the reason this episode is called The Wilderness is because That period of deep grief and sorrow and anguish and guilt and shame and all the other dark emotions that we experience, that period was the wilderness. I could not see my way out of it. I could not see my way out of it. But I found a way. Like I kept searching until I found answers. I kept searching until little by little by little, I felt a little bit better and a little bit better. And then I was on a search for what is happiness? How do we get, it's not even just darkness. You see, even on the other side, it was like, where is happiness? Like, how do we find that? What is it? Is it just a chance? Is it just the people that are lucky are happy and the rest of us are doomed? And I found out, no, that there's a way to be happy. There's a way to understand happiness. And there's also a way to go through pain, because we're all going to experience pain. I still experience pain, not to the depths of what happened to me after my kids died, but each week we have moments of pain and we have moments of victory, and hopefully we're allowing ourselves to feel all of that. But the reason I say I believe in you is because I was on the brink of destruction, and there is nothing you can say to me, nothing that you say to me will make me doubt your ability to come back. Nothing. There's nothing that you can say. There's no tragedy that you can share with me. There's nothing that will make me think that there's not a path for you to come back, for you to feel comfortable in your skin again, for you to be confident again, for you to start experience happiness even in little moments. I believe in you so much. I believe in the human spirit to overcome in the most powerful way that I can even explain to you. It is a powerful healing that is just a part of our being. It's a God-given peace that we are given. Peace as in a part of us, and peace as in the peace that passeth all understanding. We all go through the pain of grief, and right now we are in a moment of turmoil. Our world is in a moment of turmoil with the coronavirus. And do you know what? Right now, I can see the good things that are going to come out of this. And it's hard to see right now, and I get that. And it's particularly unnerving when you're in a place, like if you right now are in a place of grieving, it's even that much more unnerving to have the world unsettled. But it's not a bad thing when our life gets shaken up a little bit. We start to appreciate each other more. We start to appreciate the things that we're missing. Today, when I'm recording this podcast, Disneyland just announced that they're closing tomorrow. The NBA yesterday announced that they are no longer going to be, they're just suspending the season. The college national basketball, the college season is ending. And I think about those seniors, because I'm a basketball fan, and I think about those seniors that have worked all these years to be where they are right now, and those that are in tournaments that are working hard to win, and it's just over. What kind of grief and what kind of loss is that? It seems like a silly thing, but I can feel the pain of that. I can feel the pain of that. We cannot escape pain. We cannot escape pain. So it's important for us to figure out, if we can't escape pain, if pain is just part of our life, how do we deal with that? How do we go through the pain of grief? There's no going around it. You can only go through it. Or you can be stuck. You can be stuck in the middle of that wilderness. You can stay stuck in the middle of that wilderness. But what I learned in my own grief is that we don't stand still. We very rarely stand still. We're either looking forward to light or we're looking back to despair. We don't stand still. So if you're in the wilderness, you're looking for the way. And you're either going deeper and deeper into that wilderness or you're figuring it out step by step. And it's not often huge light bulb moments. Those happen. But mostly it's just a determination. It's a determination to find a way. All the things that I've talked about on the podcast are things I had to learn and to reconcile. I had major guilt after the accident. I was in a deep, dark hole. I had shame. I blamed myself. I had guilt even about feeling any amount of happiness. I had just the most dark and deep anguish that you can imagine. And I had such pain on top of that of over being so incapable of moving forward. I could not figure it out. It was pure hell from self-inflicted wounds. The pain of the loss was the pain of the loss, but then my self-inflicted wounds nearly killed me. They nearly tore me apart. It brought me to the depths of despair to where I did not want to live. I could not stand to be in my own skin. And I share this with you because I know you have to go through it. But I want to lift my voice. I want to lift my voice and I want to call to you from the end of the tunnel. I want to shout your name and I want you to hear my voice and I want you to move. I want you to move towards hope. I know the negative thoughts that swirl in your head. I know how hard this is. I want you to learn from my mistakes. I want you to learn. I want to say things that will keep you safe. I want you to see that there is hope. I don't care if you've been grieving for 30 years. I don't care if it's been a month. I don't care if it's been 10 years, 6 years, 7 years. That doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me. If you're in pain right now because of something happened a week ago, I want to help you to navigate that journey so that you don't end up in that snare that I ended up in. I don't want you to fall to despair. And if it's been 30 years, I want to share with you that it doesn't matter. There is so much hope. In fact, I've got another podcast episode that I'm going to record all about my journey with my health and the struggle that that's been for me and the years and years and years I've struggled with that. And I feel like I'm finally figuring it out. Like I don't have it all figured out, but I am finally figuring it out. I want you to learn from my mistakes. I want you to be safe. That's why I talk about these things. It's the reason that I'm here. The reason that I'm here is because I just want to be your friend. I want to be your friend. I want to be your coach. I want to help you. I've been there. I know what it is. And I'm standing on the other side after having been in that deep, dark wilderness. I'm standing on the other side, offering my hand, offering guidance, because you still have to go through the wilderness. There's nothing I can say or do or anybody else can say or do that won't make it necessary that you still have to go through the wilderness. You still have to be in that deep, deep, dark wilderness. There is no option. But wouldn't you rather go through that dark wilderness with someone who's been there, with a guide that knows what it's like to be stuck, that knows what it's like to be in the dark where you cannot see what the next step is. And all you can think about is where you can go to get away from the pain. I know what that feels like. And I want to take you by your hand. And I want to help you. I want to guide you. I want to be there. I want to be a warning voice. I want to be a voice of encouragement. I want to be a voice of compassion. And I appreciate you being here and letting me do that. I beg you to be kind to yourself. I beg you to ask for help. It is okay to ask for help. In fact, it is imperative. I have said it 100 times. Your support needs to be equal to your challenge. You cannot get through this with the same level of support that you had before. I just urge you to be kind to yourself. Notice the unkind things that you say to yourself. Write them down. Look at them. Get them on the outside of you. As you look at them, would you say these things? Are these the things that you would want to say to your friend? Are these the things that you would want to say to someone you love? Probably not. Probably not. And I know how hard it is to stop those voices. You are bombarded. You're absolutely being attacked. And I know that because I was there. I was in that battle. I felt the attack. I felt alone. I felt misunderstood. I've been in that battle. My message to you, if you hear nothing else, is to just be kind to yourself and understand that what you're facing is hard, but there is hope. I love you. I believe in you. Bye. Just coming back on for a moment to remind you that the April Healing Body, Mind, and Spirit webinar is happening on April 7th. To register, go to the show notes. You don't want to miss this one. And right now, for about another couple days, we have a special early bird special going on. So you can register for this event for only $19. Be sure and do that today before you forget.